You guys have been partners for how many years now? How many?
30 years.
That long?
I know it. The years have flown by like decades.
You met in high school.
Yeah, that's right. Where did you guys meet? How did?
Outside the stage door of the Winter Garden Theatre.
Somewhat improbably, at the dress rehearsal of a musical called Cats. Roger was in town for one day,
Yeah.
and I was at the dress rehearsal of Cats because I was working at an advertising agency, Sereno Coyne, and I took my young intern. I was a part-time copywriter, and the people who were working on this show that no one had seen because it had only played in London, it was just about to start at the Winter Garden, and we were invited to go, and I brought my young intern, a young boy named Hal Luftig. You may have heard of him.
Producer of Evita.
And Roger had just finished making a movie called Star 80 the day before in L.A. and had flown to New York as a stopover because the day after he was beginning rehearsal on Tom Stoppard's play The Real Thing.
That's right.
And he stopped by the Winter Garden to say hello to his friends Trevor Nunn and Johnny Napier and Gillian Lynn. And he came walking down the aisle, and I had seen Roger the year before, Nicholas Nickleby, and had turned my apartment, which is sort of somewhat smaller than the size of your table here, into a shrine. And he came walking down the aisle, and I said, "Hal, do you know who that is?" And he said, "Oh yeah, that's Roger Rees. He taught me last year when he was here doing Nicholas Nickleby on Mondays and Tuesdays when the RSC was off." Roger taught at Columbia, and Hal was one of his students.
Right.
So I said, "You know him? Well, when this Cats thing is over, you're gonna introduce us." So well, anyway, thanks to T.S. Eliot and Hal Luftig.
Well, let's finish the story.
I was so patient. I waited all the way through the show about Cats.
I was lucky enough to meet this tall young American in a Burberry raincoat outside the stage door, and it did the trick. Right.
Really, it was an instant sort of a.
We wrote letters to each other for a long time. And then he came and saw The Real Thing, and luckily for me, Henry in The Real Thing, the very first production of it, Henry is one of the greatest parts ever written, a play about love, wonderful play about love, and he seemed to approve. So that was kind of.
Well, let me just, it occurs to me that the name of this, I see from the mug on the table that the name of this program is Theater Talk. So I just thought I would try to say, to paraphrase Stephen Sondheim, this is the thing. Stephen Sondheim wrote, "I love him, I'm his, and everything he is." And my paraphrase would be, I aspire to be. That is a man whom actors from Judi Dench to Jude Law adore being on stage with, a man whom writers like Tom Stoppard and Aaron Sorkin swear by, a man whom directors like Trevor Nunn, Jack O'Brien, Alex Timbers are inspired by, a man who asks Christian Borle and Celia Keenan-Bolger and Adam Chandler Barat and Teddy Bergman and Arnie Burton and Matt D'Amico and Kevin DeLagula and Carson Elrod and Rick Holmes and Greg Hildreth and Isaiah Johnson and David Rosmer to walk through fire and water, and they do gladly. And a man who a man who chose 30 years ago against impossible odds to make a life with me.
Wow.
Who are you talking about?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
With Marshall Brickman, is that? That's right. Is there anything more to say there? I don't know, Roger. I think we should talk.
I'm dumbfounded. I'm gobsmacked. No.
It's English for dumbfounded.
That's right.